Everybody keep asking me where I've been at and why I ain't put out no new music. I tell them I had to fall back for a minute, you know, analyze the game.
First and down.
But I ain't
What's
really
good, bro?
like the direction it
What's
was going
happening,
in.
man?
So I
Back
think it's time I put
Back
it back
again.
Life's good?
Life's great.
Man, weather today is fantastic.
Yes.
Thank God. About time, right?
We about out of the whole that winter, man. It was a brutal winter, man. I'm glad we up out of that for real. At least it seems like we can't say all the way in the clear because we know it's known it might snow late March, early April here, you know.
God.
But I think we got the worst part of it is out the way though.
I hope. And I'll tell you, this year, it's kind of crazy because we complain so much, but we really don't have that much to complain about because, this is the first really bad winter that I can remember since like that ice storm we had.
Yeah, in a while.
Yeah, so, but it was crappy when it snowed and then put ice on top of it and then snowed again and then snowed again. So, because you remember, cause it was just so bad out here because it's like the sun didn't touch anything for weeks.
At all, bro.
So,
we had to cancel a few episodes and man, we apologize again for that, but life happens, and the crazy thing is I called it. I said it last summer. Something just told me. I said, man, we're gonna have a pretty brutal winter this year. We do. It's overdue, So
hey, you had to curse us, right?
yeah, got through it, man. Today though, I want to talk about what they would say is the dark side of the music industry, kind of like. How do you feel? I was talking to somebody else about this, and I said, man, you know what? Me and Sean need to talk a bit about this on the podcast. How do you feel about the art, separating the art from the artist? Because as we know, it's many artists, what I'm saying? I won't name, it's so too many to name, but a lot of phenomenal artists that make great music, then you find out kind of stuff about their personal life. Does that turn
closed doors, right?
Yeah. Does that turn you off to the point that you don't listen to their music anymore, support their music, or you kind of separate the two?
For me, I'll be honest, I separate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to an R. Kelly song probably since Endless was on the radio passing by.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the relationship with my daughter and thinking about if it was her, some things you just can't give a pass on. I think a lot of people, we don't know we love the artist before, and we love the art before we really know who the artist is. Idolized, it's like, oh, he's such a great guy. Listen, man, we don't know what people do behind closed doors, but they do.
Yeah.
But when they get exposed, going, it's okay. Yeah, he did this, but he's still a great artist. Like where does that hold any weight?
So you saying if it's if an artist makes great art, once they do some stuff that's too sideways for you done. You can't mess with it.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's subjective for everybody. Some people say, well, it's timeless, and but he was doing that stuff back then.
Yeah.
So while he was making the art that we love and enjoy, he was doing that stuff. So it makes me hard. Yeah, it makes it really hard for me to separate it.
Yeah, for me it's man, I guess I'll say this, it depends on what the person is accused of doing, or not just accused, but if you're found guilty of doing, because I thought about that when we was having when I was having a conversation with the other person. I was thinking damn, man, they were like somebody that said, man, the art is the art. I'm gonna enjoy the music. The music has nothing to do with what a person does in their personal life, no matter how horrific it is. And I'm like, I can understand it. Like you said, it's subjective. I can see that, but it just depends on what it is. Right? Yeah, because everything hits everybody different. So it's like you said, you have a daughter, just like I have a daughter. So we say you brought up R. Kelly. So some of the stuff that he has been found guilty, we seen him on tape, you know what I'm saying, doing some stuff that a man with a daughter, or anybody with a daughter would kind of make you be like, that's very cringe,
because it's close to home, right? Because
close to home, yeah. But then you got rappers talk about being murderers and shooting up shit all day, we kind of listen to that, and it's just kind of like the norm, And so it's kind of like, man, I really don't even know how to answer it. I'm kind of like, but I will say that I know since the whole R. Kelly debacle or whatever, I haven't really went to like Spotify or Apple Music and went and played R. Kelly. But I will say this: when it comes on, when I'm around other people and it comes on, I'm like, damn. I find myself singing along. Like I'm like, man, this is some, like you said, just classic music, man.
It's like good music. Right?
It's great. Yeah. It's like, damn. So and even more recently, we got the whole Diddy situation.
Pretty bad, yeah.
And Puff, he's definitely responsible. It's almost like this. If somebody does something, Michael Jackson, there's so many artists that we can name, Elvis Presley. If you kind of just crucify them for their personal lives, actions that they've done in their personal lives, it's almost like, man, you are literally, if you take their music and take their music away for what they've done, you are literally like taking away music history, not just, you know what I'm saying, like
timeless music.
Timeless music, yeah, like classic music. So, Puff, you got to think he's responsible for Big, Mace, The Lox, Faith Evans. I mean, it's so many. There's too many artists to name.
It's like more than like half of our lives that we've been listening to the music from these people.
Soundtrack to our lives, yeah. A lot of it, yeah.
And I think, like I said, the thing with R. Kelly, and and I remember like at first kind of going, I'm still going to listen, because but of course at that time, it was kind of like just allegations, right? And then you start hearing the phone calls of like the parents and shit. And I'm like, because I mean, I just, as a parent, that's all I think about. I don't think about R. Kelly. All I'm thinking about is my child being manipulated by a grown man and being treated that way, and then me trying to save her, and that's it.
But the crazy thing is, and I don't want to sound insensitive at all, because, I don't rock with that. That pedophilia is a no-go for me. But
the girls,
let's keep it real. How many of us, when you was in high school, when I was in high school, how many females have you talked to, 15, 16, the girls that you had a crush on, and you see them maybe possibly getting picked up by guys that's 24 or 25, with the cars, and you already know what was going on. Yeah. Like, not saying that it's right, but I feel like this type of stuff has been happening for years.
Oh, and he's probably back in the early history of time. Humans are rotten. Like, we all have that, I think of, but here's the thing. This will blow your mind. I've almost been sick thinking of dating somebody younger than me.
Damn.
I've never, crazy. No. And I'll tell you, because seeing it, and if you fall in love with somebody, man, do what you want, right? Like, it's none of my business. If somebody says, well, this is what I think about you, I'm going to tell you, it's none of my business what you think about me. It's just the innocent, like the kids. Anybody under 18, even 16 or 17, those are the most easily manipulated, because they're on the verge of becoming a child, going into becoming an adult, right?
Yeah.
So they think they're smart enough to make the decision that it's right. And some of those girls, man, they defended R. Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, well, what's going on behind closed doors? We think we know. We see some really bad stuff. But what is making these young girls defend him?
Well, and then not just the girls, then you also got to ask yourself the parents. Some of these parents is almost like they were setting it up, like they were in on it. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, when you have celebrities, somebody of that was, as great as R. Kelly and as big as a figure that he was, it's like, it's a money grab. Can you imagine you being a father, being like, R. Kelly, say your daughter sang or whatever, and you getting her in the studio, and it's almost like you're setting up your daughter. Man, some of these parents know what's going on. These allegations, he had allegations back in the early 2000s, so people know what they're doing.
So they're tough.
But it's all about the check for some of these. Some of these parents will put their kid on the line, like, yeah, go over there, because if you start dealing with him, we gonna be rich.
I don't want to judge, but there
crazy.
Is a dark, hot place in hell for people like that.
Yeah, man, that's wild, man.
And like I said, I guess the older we get, right? I'm sure if you asked a 20-year-old me, I'm sure I would have told you I would have kept listening to music.
Yeah.
But I just, for me, it's like separating, the art from the artist. And I'm like, but the artist made the art. How can you separate that? The art doesn't exist without the artist.
That's true.
But again, like I said, if you listen to R. Kelly, hey man, do what you want. Like, it's none of my business. Did he make timeless music? Yes. Do I miss the fact that every once in a while I don't hear an R. Kelly song? Ignition. There's so many that he had that was just like so. I mean, we heard on the radio all the time.
But look, here I'm gonna go deeper though. This is what's crazy. So, all right, for the people that would be like, nah, I stopped listening to him after all that. But his imprint on the game is so impactful. You listen to half the R&B artists that came out after the mid 90s. He wrote a lot of the music so he might have not sang it, but it's still his music that you know what I'm saying? So you still vibing out to it. And that's why I say it's kind of weird, I just be like, man, look, if a song's good, it's good. And you got to also look at it from this standpoint. This is what I thought about, like, right before we set up to do this show. I said, damn, because I was kind of more so leaning like towards you. Like, that was my way of thinking too. Like, man, I just can't. But everything, these dope mics that we're using, or the computers, the program, the video games that we play, whatever it may be that you enjoy for your entertainment, that's your favorite stuff in the world. Man, what if that person is the person that created let's just say NBA 2K? Some of the creators of NBA 2K are pedophiles behind closed doors, rapists.
NBA Live, here I come.
You know what I'm saying? Are you going to stop? The world is so filled with sin, and there's so much. Everybody's doing everything. It's almost unavoidable. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. So it's kind of like when you do that, when you draw that line with just music, it's like, are you going to draw that
across the board?
Yeah,
right?
Across the board. Yeah, so
that's true. But we're all hypocritical. Right?
Facts.
What I said 10 years ago is not what I'm saying today. We grow, we learn, and again, that's kind of what I love about this podcast. And that's like doing this is the fact that you were like, you kind of understood. But then when you come in, we start talking about it, you're like, well, but you should be open-minded and always listen to other people and then make your own decision. Yeah. Right? It's not like you have to ignore other people, but like, nah, I don't agree. Just listen. And when we get done, make your decision. Right. It's the same thing, but people were so quick to go, nope, you can't do it. R. Kelly's a legend. To you, he's not a legend to me. Right. He's a pedophile. But again, we don't have to agree to be friends all the time, right? The whole point of being friends is understanding and being compassionate toward each other, and not understanding, but understanding not to agree. Yeah. And that's all right. Like, I think people, especially politics, right? If somebody comes in and you see a Democrat and a Republican and something is said. So we were talking about like the opinion that we had. I've literally, in real light conversation, mentioned something as a funny thing and literally had the person that was there who got offended because everybody found out where everybody stood, won't go back over.
That is, people, like you said, you should always approach any situation with an open mind. Yeah. Have your own opinion and, stand on what you stand on. But if somebody makes a valid point and changes your view, be open to that. Don't be so stubborn to just be like, nah, this is what I am and that's just what I'm going to be. Like, nah, because like you said, life's about growth. There's things that I've looked at 10 years ago. I looked at it from a certain, there's things that I've looked at a couple months ago that I view different now, just because, I gave myself I have an open mind, and I was like, you know what, when new information comes in and you learn something new, then you apply that knowledge and you say, you know what, damn, I stand corrected. I was wrong about that.
AI is my biggest correction so far. I said artificial can't be intelligent. No way. Yep. I was wrong. Super wrong. And, but again, like I said, having the open mind, to me, I think everybody should. It's, like something even like this, right, is what people find, their sexuality, right? I'm not gay, and I don't care if anybody is. It doesn't offend me because it's none of my business. But if you come to me and talk to me about it, I would like to be open. It's almost like my opinion matters more that I get it across to you than it actually does to me. Yeah. But it's my opinion. Yeah. So. And
that's why, like you said, if this is how you feel, you got to stand on that. If I feel this way, this is just how I feel, and some people get so in their feelings because they want to convince you so bad, like you have to see it my way. And it's like, no, I see where you coming from. I see what you're trying to say. I don't agree with it.
Right.
And I have the option to
then they
agree
really
or
get mad when you
disagree.
don't.
Oh man, they get fired up, man, when you disagree. So
You're not understanding? No, I understand.
let me ask you this. So we talking about kind of like the dark side of the music industry and separating the art from the artist, because you got, it's so many. Like I said, we kind of zeroed in on R. Kelly, but it ain't just R. Kelly. It's many. Kanye West is ruffling a lot of people's feathers right now.
What's up with the swastika, man? I gotta know. Do you know?
I personally think, man, I've been saying this for years, for the last 4 or 5 years or so. Man, Kanye West he's another one, man. Kanye West is giving some great music. I can't. Hey, Kanye, look, I'm over here stuttering, thinking about how great the music that he's giving us. You know what I'm saying?
He's a legend, man.
Legend. You can't take that away from him. But some of his antics, bro, I just think the shit's corny. I think it's, me personally, I think that a lot of stuff he does, some people close to him say that he's bipolar and he needs medication. I don't know the man personally, but I just think a lot of the stuff he does is just trolling. It's just for attention. It's just, and I feel like, to me, and that's just me. Who am I? I'm just, he's who he is, but I feel like that should be beneath him at this point. Like, you already a legend, you solidified, you've done a lot of great things for the culture. So it's like, now it's just almost like you look like an attention whore. Like, you just need, it's like when nobody's talking about you, you need something to get people talking about you. And we doing it right now on the podcast, so.
Welcome to the show, Kanye.
So he won, at the end of the day. But I don't.
If he needs mental help, like, the people that are supporting him around him who are not trying to get him help need to try harder. Because I've seen some really, and it's disturbing, man, because when you look at somebody that you look at for so long, talented, smart, a freaking a mogul, like multi-million-dollar. I'm telling you, Kardashians mess him up. He got that family, and he ain't been right. Look what they did to Kris Jenner.
Hey, everybody say them Kardashians, boy. But it's almost like every guy that's ever dealt with them downhill afterwards.
I mean, it's either drugs, turn to women, or wearing swastikas. Take your pick, man. Holy shit! Like,
hey, boy, that's some. I'm trying to keep it PG-13, but that's some 90 that I don't want no parts of. It's going to make me do that. You feel me?
Come on in. I've heard. I think I'm good. Yeah, we've all seen your magazines, and we get it. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I just really feel sorry for anybody that deals with a serious, because if you don't deal with mental issues, you'll never know what it's like when your mind is telling you something that you may not agree with.
Yeah.
Like, it's a separate, like, personality. So,
But that's why I wanted to ask you. We started talking about Kanye and the Kardashians, but how do you feel about, like, a lot of people? Like, I'm sure you heard these conversations because everybody always talks about it. Even my mother. Shout out to my mother. She's always
Mom Charlene, if I can call you that, can't we?
She always be on me about these top celebrities. Most people get in the comments and they feel like they have to sell their soul to be a top star. I'm talking big time stars, the Beyoncés, Taylor Swifts, Jay-Z's, the Adeles, the big artists of the world.
Are we talking?
Yeah, Illuminati, supposedly. What do you feel? Do you feel like that's like a real thing, that you have to sacrifice somebody, get somebody unalive close to you, or give up, have Diddy put some baby oil on you and do whatever, or
play R. Kelly.
Harvey Weinstein got to do this to you for you to get a role? Like, and don't get me wrong, I do believe there's some type, there's stuff like that go on, but I don't believe every successful person has done stuff like that. That's just me personally.
I don't either, because I think at one point, like, especially nowadays with how close we are connected to everything, that they could, all of them get away with it. But you got enough money, man. You got enough people. I guess you cover up anything. I guess in my hopes, I know there's something there. There has to be, right? It's like the Millionaires Club. They have clubs for reasons. Not all clubs are good. They're called cults.
Yeah.
I believe there's a lot of Hollywood millionaire cults. Sure.
Yeah. And do you believe you got to do something kind of like, I guess they call it humiliation ritual. You do something that's humiliating, so if you ever try to out the club or the the code or whatever, like the Illuminati, then you basically, they got something over you. Because they were saying, like, even they say with the whole Diddy stuff, they say, oh man, them parties, people don't want the list to come out of all the people that attended the parties because Diddy probably got them on tape doing, you know, all type of weird activities. Like, do you feel that, you know, and we're just giving our opinions. We don't know. We're not in Hollywood, but how do you feel about that? Do you think that's like there's some truth to that?
God, I hope not. I mean, because that would be like saying, hey, Sean, we really like your show. Like, it's great. And then somebody whispering in my ear saying, we want you to be part of our exclusive club. But unfortunately, you can't do it with Dover. I mean, you know, if we can't do it together, you said, no, you got to get rid of it. There is no amount of money that I would do that to anybody that I care about. None. If it's a sacrifice of my life for them, I would do it.
Yeah.
I do not believe that money accounts for anything because it's paper made up by a system that controls us that has no value.
And speaking of that,
really, you know what I mean.
I feel like the value is made up basically, but I feel like that's the definition of selling your soul. People think that selling your soul is, oh, you got to go to this secret room and this and that. Selling your soul, people sell their soul every day. Your everyday people do it all the time. Selling your soul is sacrificing your integrity and your morals to just get by, to do something that you wouldn't normally do, but you look at it like somebody offering you an opportunity. We see it in the corporate world, and hell, you'd be at McDonald's and people will step on somebody else's toes to get that higher position and do it immorally. So it's like that's all selling your soul is. Like people take it and think, oh, literally you make a deal with the devil comes to you.
Contract.
Yeah, like nah, come on, man. That's fantasy, you know.
I heard a guy say one time, and they were talking about selling souls and stuff like that, and he said, a lot of these guys out here selling their soul, or a lot of people selling their souls. He said, you don't own your soul. He said, your soul is God's. He said, you can't sell something you don't own. And I kind of just stopped and I thought, man, if that's true, there's a lot of people out here selling nothing for a whole lot of everything.
Yeah.
Like literally, like you said, for the fact that people would go to the lengths to do certain things for money.
Yeah.
Like that's just, crazy. And I get the fact that people, want to get ahead. I am so comfortable with peace. Money doesn't really impress me as much as somebody going, hey man, I'm just going to go hang out at the lake all week.
Yeah.
Like to me, peace is just something that is just priceless. Like money, I see it come and go. See millionaires become broke, crackheads. I've seen basketball players at gas stations who had everything. And I've seen the misery and the pain, and that's all it takes for me to go. I mean, because you live with that for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
Like unless we have like those little flashy things, Men in Black, just pop yourself.
They say, man, I seen somebody say one time that peace is the gold in a world full of chaos. You the richest man in the world, man. If you got peace and the world is full of chaos, like you said, that's priceless.
You can't, man. It's literally, and I think you and I even said it. I said I will drop whatever disturbs my peace. I said I'm done. But I didn't know that until you find the peace. It doesn't make sense. Then when you find peace, I heard a guy say he was talking about strength and being yourself, and he was talking about how he got there. And he talked. He said, the easiest thing to do is just to continue. He said, you want to be a man. He said, leave everybody behind. He said, and face the man in the mirror. And he said, and don't come back. He said, until you be.
That's real.
So we're just in a fight with ourselves, with our moral selves, with our decisions. Should we listen to this music or should we not?
And then also, I was gonna say, how much money is enough? Because when I see a lot of rich people, it's like, all right, man, I'm worth 50 million. Now I'm trying to be worth 100 million. Nah, that ain't enough. I want to compete with this person. I want to be worth $500 million. Then you get to $500 million. I want to be worth $1 billion. Then you got billionaires competing. And it's like, man, like, how much money do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, at the end of the day, you reach a certain level. And it's not to say that you quit working. Whatever your passion is, keep doing it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that, a lot of people, and like I said, it trickles all the way down to the little man. You know what I'm saying? I want a job making $15 an hour. You get that. Nah, I need one making $20 an hour. And then it's like, at the end of the day, it don't matter how much money you got if you don't have peace. If your life is chaotic, it don't matter.
Do you think people chase money for peace?
I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people feel like that's why you hear that saying that, they say money can't buy happiness. And some people be like, man, like, shit, you tripping. Like, money could definitely buy happiness until you get a certain amount of money and then you're not happy with it. It's just like you get a certain material things. You like, man, I've been wanting this for this type of car forever. You get that car and then you just be like, one of my homeboys, he was just telling me he got a pretty nice car. And he was just telling me like, man, like this car is smooth and all. Like it gets attention, but he like, man, for real, I'd rather get something else, now that he got the car that he always wanted. You feel me? So I think that's why I say peace, man. And you don't realize that, unfortunately, until you get older. When you start getting older, you tell a young person, some of our young viewers watching this, they probably looking at us like, man, them old heads just talking. I want that bread. You know what I'm saying?
But we didn't want peace either at that age, right? We wanted excitement, entertainment.
Yeah.
We go to bars and get drunk. Do you think we didn't like getting fights and all that stuff? That's not peace.
Yeah, when you're young, chaos is fun.
Oh, man.
Then you start getting older, you like, bruh. You like, I'm burnt out, bruh.
Turn it down. Yeah. And you're right, too, because even like, because you and I are not, what we call like introverts, right? But we spend a lot of time by ourselves or together or in our houses with our families that we're just not out. And people are like, that's lonely. I'm going, it's peaceful.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, and holding anybody, and I think I've told you this, that I know every single person on this planet, there's not a person alive that hasn't done something that would turn the next person off.
Facts. Absolutely.
So just keep it real, keep it fresh.
You already know. Fresh podcast.
Peace.
I stay fly like I ain't heard of gravity. Niggas claim they street, but they sweet like a cavity. Swear they want beef, get on beats, try to battle me. Dog, that's not beef, it's only beef when it's casualties. I'm in the streets, you want beef? See me there, I bet you get clapped and napped like beady head. We nice with heaters, goons quick to bang shots. We bear arms like wife beaters and tank tops. So please.